Now let's say a client comes up to you and wants you to build them a site for a piano store. The store is called Piano Plus, and the site should be mostly informational, describing the store and having a page where they can browse through the various pianos that are on the floor, and also a page for determining the location of the store. So not a whole lot of user interaction here, and they would like to be able to edit the content of each page. Well, this is a perfect case for a content management system. Well, in this week's episodes, I would like to show you how to create that site using Refinery CMS. This is an excellent content management system that uses Rails engines, so it is very modular, and you can either create a new Rails app with it or add it to an existing app. Well, let's get started. Now, Refinery uses ImageMagick, so the first thing you'll need to do if you haven't already is install ImageMagick. If you're on a Mac, I recommend using Homebrew with just a quick brew install ImageMagick command. Next, you can run gem install Refinery CMS to install Refinery. And then to generate a new application, just run the Refinery CMS command followed by the name of the app, such as Piano Plus. So what this will do is it'll take a while because it's going to generate a full Rails application and add Refinery to it and run all the migrations. After that's done, it will give you some nice instructions to cd into that directory and then start up the server. And then we could check it out at localhost port 3000. And that brings us to a registration page because there's no user yet, so we can register a new user. I'll just call it admin. And then we can just sign up the user here. Now the first page this brings us to is the Refinery Dashboard, which shows us the latest activity and a few links here to do some various tasks. Now there are also some tabs at the top here to manage various parts of our CMS, such as users and pages. One little quick tip here is that you can reorder this menu by clicking this button and just drag the tabs around. That's kind of a cool feature. Now you'll mostly be working with pages, so let's check that out first. And you can see there are a few pages already provided for us here, a home page, an About Us page, and a page to handle 404 errors. You can edit a page by clicking on this little button here. And so here we can change the content of the page using a nice WYSIWYG editor, and you can see that a page includes a body and a side body section, and you can customize that as well. And there are also some advanced options for changing various aspects of a page, and then you can just save it or preview it. So that's a quick overview of the admin interface that comes with Refinery. Now let's take a look at the actual application by clicking on the Switch to Website button. Well, all of the content is here for the pages, but there's absolutely no styling, and that's a good thing because that way we have complete control over how the site looks to the public user. Next, let's dive into the source code for this project and see how we can add some styling and change some settings such as the company name here. So here's what the project looks like opened in TextMate, and you should feel right at home here because it's basically just a new Rails application with a few Refinery goodies thrown in. For example, if we take a look at the config routes file here, you can see that it just mounts the Refinery engine at the root path inside of our routes. Now, if you want to configure how Refinery works, that's under the initializers Refiner directory, and you can see there are various aspects of Refinery that you can change. Let's look under the core config file here. And these are all nicely commented so you can get an idea of what you can customize. Here we want to change the site name, so instead of company name, let's call this Piano Plus. And then you'll need to restart the app for that initializer to take effect, but once you do and reload the page, you can see the company name changes to Piano Plus in the header and in the footer section here and inside of the Refinery bar. Now let's get into some styling of this page. You can view the source code to see how the default layout is structured. So you can see there's a header section with a logo inside of it, and the page sections with the body and the sidebar, and so on. So back in our Rails application, under the App Assets Style Sheets directory, you can see we have our application CSS file that behaves exactly the same way as it does in a default Rails application. So here I'm going to actually create a new file here called layout.css.scss. So this file will automatically be picked up for the application styling. And I'm just going to paste in some Sass code into here to do the styling. And then reload the page. And it's looking much nicer. Next, let's adjust this content here so it matches what we want to display on the homepage. And we could do that inside of the admin section of Refinery, and let's edit this homepage here. So instead of this text here, I want this to be an H2 tag and have this say from students to professionals. And then I want some lorem ipsum text. There we go, that looks good. And then I want a couple links down here below that that says browse pianos and then store location. Now I won't make these links yet because I don't have actual pages for them to link to yet, but I do want to change the styling a little bit, and I'm just going to make the font size a large instead of the normal size. Next, I would like to add an image. So I'll just click Add Image here, and then I can choose to upload an image from my computer. So I'll just choose this image of a piano here. Choose that, and then I'll need to choose Save here. And then I could select the size of the image that I want to use. I'm going to use a medium-sized image and choose Insert. So there we go. I now have a piano image, which was automatically resized for me. And so I want to make this image so that it's floated to the left, and I'm going to place it near the top here so that it goes on the left side of everything else. Now, if you are ever unsure about the HTML source code that this is generating, just click on the HTML button. And this looks good, but I could edit it here further if I wanted to. So I also want to change the side body because I don't want a side section to be on the home page. And so let's save this. All right, that saved successfully. Now let's take a look at the site. And it's looking great. I did have to adjust some styling off camera to fix some spacing, but not a whole lot. This home page now is almost done. I just need to add a red banner section near the top here. But before I do that, I'm going to work on the store location page next. So going back to Refinery, I'm going to delete the About page and then add a new page called Store Location. And then for the main body section, I'll say Store Location here as well and make that an H2 tag. And I would also like to display a map underneath this tag. So I'm going to use an HTML snippet here to embed a Google map into this. So now let's check it out. Well, there's our Google map. Awesome. Now I would also like to add a side body section to this, so I'll just fill this in real quick. There we go, that looks good, just a little contact us section, and then I'll just save this page. Now I also want the home page to link to this, so I'll edit that. And so I want this store location section to be a link, so I'll click Add Link here. And then I want it to be a link to the store location page. So I'll insert this. And there we go, there's that link. Now I'll just save this page. And then let's check it out. And there we go, there's our store location link in the menu. And we also have a link on the page here that goes to that same page with our map and our contact us information displayed on the side. It works. Next, I want to tackle the red banner section that needs to be displayed at the top of the homepage. It should look something like this, where I display some text and an image, and it really is a completely different section from the body of the homepage, which is below that. Now, when I go to edit my homepage, I only have these two sections to choose from, body and side body. And while I could kind of use side body to do what I want there, it's not really a good fit. And I would prefer if there was a separate section that I could add here called banner. Now there is a configuration option in Refinery that can help out with this. If I go to the Refinery Pages configuration file, I can add a new config called New Page Parts and set that to true. And then after a quick restart of the Rails app and then editing the homepage again, you can see I now have these options to configure the page parts. I can choose to remove a part, so I can choose a side body here and choose to delete that. I can also add a new part, let's call it banner. Now unfortunately there is a bug which prevents this form from being saved, so this doesn't work. Now I'm sure this issue will be fixed soon, but in the meantime you can get around this by just adding a page part manually through the console. The first thing you need to do is just find the Refinery page model that you want to add it to. In this case it's the first record in the database, so I'll just call first, and then you can call parts.create to add a page part to it. And I'll just set the title to banner. And you can see that just added that page part record into the database. And now reloading this page here shows us that banner section. And I'll just fill this in with the appropriate information. There we go, that looks good. I have the 2 lines with the image on the right. So I'll just save this now. And then I'll check out the site, which I've already styled. And there we go. That looks great. Now to see the site without the Refinery blue bar at the top, we can log out of Refinery by clicking this link, and then we don't get the blue bar anymore, so we can browse around the site as our customers would. And then to access Refinery again, just add Refinery to the URL, and then you get the login page. Just log in with the admin information that you set up, and there you go. Now there is one more section of the site that I won't be adding in this episode, and that is the Browse Pianos section. While we could just make a static page for this that just lists out the pianos, instead I would prefer to store the pianos in the database. And to do that, we'll need to extend Refinery by creating our own engine. And that brings us to this week's Pro episode. There I will show you how to add the Browse Pianos section to the site by creating our own engine and then customizing it. And I'll also show you how to override various parts of Refinery, such as views and controllers. To watch that episode and all other Pro and Revised episodes, just head on over to railscast.com/pro and then sign up there for just $9 per month.